Kenny, you got a couple of knockouts. Let's start in the NBA.
Yeah, we're moving to more recreational sports.
Yes.
Out of the bubble, into the real world. The Heat, the Lakers in L.A. Lakers just lost to the Nets at home. Here we go. Lakers hosting the Heat. Remember they played for the finals title in the bubble. LeBron James, Jimmy Butler. Little embrace before the game. Anthony Davis, of course, out. He would weirdly be involved, though. We'll get to that. Kyle Kuzma coming to the rack. Now, somewhere on the play, probably at the rim, cuts his finger, starts bleeding during the timeout. Davis gets up trying to coach him up, but Kuzma accidentally gets blood on Davis's shirt.
Ooh.
They realize what's going on, so the staff's like, Davis, go back to the locker room, need to change out.
Oh, goodness.
Have an abundance of caution. Soon after, he returns, and the nice little look, showing it off. Unusual. Speaking of Davis, they'd miss his presence down low because the Heat tied a season high with 34 points in the paint in the first half. Had a bio, the main beneficiary, 14 points in the first half. Heat leading by 7 at the break. Fourth quarter, jump to it. Now Davis is back. He's a clothes horse. He changed that again.
Deep closet.
Kendrick Nunn, light at 3. He was 10 of 14 from the floor. Game high 27, Heat up 9. 8 to go. Lakers down 8. LeBron, 7 of 21. But this one, resist. Adebayo coming from behind. This block is protected by copyright and international law. Heat hanging on the lead. Lakers down 7. Contavious Caldwell-Pope put one in the air. Lakers cut it to 4. Under 3 minutes. Lakers down 5. LeBron, no one's getting to this. Throws that down. Cuts it to 3. 25 ticks. Lakers inbounding down 2. Gasol gets the ball. LeBron sets the off screen for Wesley Matthews. Clanks that. Lakers have to foul. So 8.4 to go. Heat inbounding up 2. Iguodala throwing it in. Watch near side here. LeBron. Nice little tip away to Alex Caruso. And here come the Lakers to try to win it. LeBron gets doubled. Kicks it to Caruso. Had a shot off the front, and it doesn't go. LeBron with the great little D-tip here. They had a try. LeBron kicked it away. He went for 19, 9, and 9. Lakers dropped their third in the last 4, shot just 39%. Here's Rachel with Jimmy Butler, the winner.
What is rounding into shape for you guys on this road trip?
More confidence, realizing that we belong.
You, in the fourth quarter especially, just with shots not falling and the way that you guys were generating looks against Miami's D.
We got some great looks, and they didn't fall. You just said it. I think defensively we were very good, very in tune, connected. Shots just weren't falling in the fourth.
Alex took us through that last sequence. Just wondered what you saw from the inbounds pass and how you were playing Jimmy up to the point where you made that decision once Miami helped over on you.
I felt like they were going to try to seal me over the top. I was able to get a hand on the ball. AC brought it up to me. DHO to me, Jimmy and Olenek doubled me. I went to AC and we missed a shot.
Dave?
LeBron, what's this time period like, do you think, for your teammates in terms of the pressure they may feel to try to take on more, considering there's no AD and there's no Schroeder? At the same time, Kenny and Alex both mentioned, like, they want to take some load off your shoulders. They know that you're capable of carrying a lot, but they want to be doing their part. What's that like for your team to go through that kind of emotion or balance right now?
They are doing their part. They're doing their part and more. And every time we're on the floor, we're all trying to protect each other and bring each other up, out on the floor every single night. And it doesn't matter if you're making shots or not. We are going to hold each other accountable. And everybody's just picking up in AD's absence. And obviously it hasn't been, in wins the last 2 games, but, we're going to keep on working our habits and continue to be great for one another.
Dan?
From the shooting over the last 10 games or so, even pre-injuries, is really tailed off. Is there any reason for that or anything that you've seen, or is this just sort of over the course of the season, there's going to be highs and there are going to be lows?
I don't think there's any reason for that. I think our guys do a great job of being in the gym. We all put in the work. And, so it's not that. I mean, if it was that we weren't putting in work, then, that would be the reason for it. Or I could say that's a cause of it. So, the law of averages will even itself out. And we had lapses last year at one point. We had it during the playoffs as well. And we just, we knew we would find our rhythm and we'd do the same this year.
Kyle?
Hey, LeBron, when AC was talking about that last play, he kind of said, I expected my defender to kind of follow off to me and they would guard LeBron one-on-one. Is it perhaps just more of a consequence that AD is not on the floor, that teams are more willing to double you? And do you see other guys on the floor with you kind of adjusting to that new reality?
No, I mean, my intentions when I came off that DHO was to let it go. If they would have guarded me one-on-one and Jimmy would have stayed back or Older Nick didn't fight over the screen. But, for me, when you grab two on the ball and we had a great look to tie the game into overtime, AC had that. I think the only, bad thing about it is that he shot a long two. I wish he would have shot a three and make her miss. I live with that. So, but other than that, it was a good look.
Melissa, last question, Melissa.
Hey, LeBron, throughout your career, you've been sort of a master at tweaking your game, giving each respective team that you played on what it needs, whether it's more ball handling, more shooting, more defense, whatever the case may be. What goes into being such a master at tweaking your game, and how are you so effective at that?
Just staying open-minded about, whatever my teammates need, whatever the coaching staff need, whatever the personnel that I'm playing with needs at that particular time. And, always just having always having a growth mindset. I think that's for my game, and not settling on what I am or who I am at that point in time. Being able to adjust to my teammates, be able to adjust to the I guess the coaching staff and the system that we want to play at that point in time. So I think that's what it all boils down to. And right now is another challenge for me to be able to adjust. Not having AD for a long period of time is something that we haven't had over the last year and a half, and now it's time for me to adjust again and see ways I can be even more effective to help this team win ball games, because that is the sport that we're in. We're in the winning business, and I've always been a winner. So it's time to click into that.
Turn up the heat a little bit throughout the three quarters. We knew that the first quarter was not what we wanted or what we're capable of. In the fourth quarter we held them 15 points, which should be enough to win. But obviously they're a 5 in the paint swarm team. You have to play extra pass basketball. I thought we generated a lot of good looks in the fourth quarter, just weren't able to knock them down. But there's certainly, I'm sure there's ways we can execute better as well. We'll look at the tape and find ways where we can be better.
Frank, you had mentioned wanting to get more looks from three, and you certainly did that tonight. What was the shift there, and how much of that was with how Miami was playing?
It's a combination. Like I said, we've been hesitant, I feel, over the last few games from the three-point line. So there was an encouragement piece to that. But also, like I said, this team's number one in points in the paint. They take that away, and they make you beat them over the top. And, if you're knocking down shots, you're going to have a great night against this team. But if you're not, it's going to be a long night.
Stephen, what message did Mr. Irving send?
Well, first of all, Kyrie Irving, he had moments. He didn't have a big game statistically, but he had moments where he put on the show. He just showed you just the kind of ability that we all know that he has. The kid is spectacular. There's no way around that. Yes, they did not have Kevin Durant, and the Los Angeles Lakers did not have Anthony Davis. But watching this game, the message that I peeled from it is that, as I said before, the Brooklyn Nets are coming out of the Eastern Conference. They will be in the NBA Finals, barring any significant injuries. And as far as I'm concerned, last night said to me that they should be the championship favorites. The Brooklyn Nets should be the favorites to win the world championship. The questionable health of Anthony Davis, combined with the way the offense is playing, the fluidity, the distribution of the basketball, the Joe Harrises of the world in the starting lineup, the Jeff Green, how you could go small the way Brooklyn did last night. Bruce Brown, along with Joe Harris, along with Kyrie and James Harden, with Jeff Green playing the center spot. You got 4 or 5 guys on the floor that are all a threat from three-point range. They went relatively small, and they definitely had an advantage over the Los Angeles Lakers in the first quarter, because LeBron obviously only had 7 points in the first quarter. couldn't really get it going. You expected him to attack from the interior all night long. He did it enough, but in the same breath, he was still struggling from three-point range, which was predictable. In the end, I'm just looking at the Brooklyn Nets right now and the way they're getting others involved, the Joe Harrises, the Jeff Greens of the world, the Landry Shamits of the world, and what they can do from the perimeter. And the fact that these guys are literally feeding the basketball. You see the effect that Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni, the offensive minds that they have, coming into play here. And by the way, they get defensive stops at times when they need them as well. So I look at all of that, and I'm willing to declare here today that the Brooklyn Nets should be the favorites to win the chip. They should be the favorites to win it all. That's where I'm at right now. That's what I peeled from last night.
The message that Kyrie and Harden sent to LeBron last night was real, recognize real. Game, recognize game. And when Kyrie, remember back, Stephen A., when Kyrie made the comments about KD and how for the first time at the end of a game, he sees another dude who, he wasn't lying. What he's showing is he wasn't lying. I think he ignored LeBron's judgment. I'd still rather have the ball in LeBron's hands with everything he can do with the ball, including score. But what Kyrie was talking about is a guy he trusts in that moment to hit a shot from anywhere, just like he can. Harden, too. James Harden has played with some great players. He was too young to know how to be great with other great players when he was first in OKC. That's why he and Westbrook couldn't share the floor. That's why he used him as a sixth man. And he wasn't very good there either when the pressure mounted. And later in Houston, when he got Chris Paul, let's not forget, by the time the playoffs rolled around, Chris Paul was probably off a step, probably missed it because of injuries. It made him look like he was declining. And Westbrook is not a shooter to begin with. This is the first time James Harden and Kyrie Irving are playing. Last night it was with one other guy, but when KD is healthy, it's two other guys who are just like them that way, who they trust to hit a big shot from anywhere on the court at any given time, especially when it matters. And you saw it, you brought up Kyrie Irving. The numbers don't tell the story from Kyrie's game yesterday. Yes, we showed some highlights. He hit some very tough shots late, but we know his skill level. He can do that. But it was Kyrie's willingness to move the ball, not just the assist, but the hockey assist, the assist that led to the assist, the pass that led to the assist. The way they moved the ball unselfishly. James Harden, too, his court vision. I knew James Harden could pass, but oh my God, the court vision he's shown since he's come to the Nets. It's the same sort of thing. These guys see game, recognize game. That dude's just like me. Can get his own shot at any time as well as anyone who ever lived, and can hit it from anywhere as well as anyone who ever lived. You went through the Nets roster, Stephen A. What about TLC in the corner, right? Their guys are wide open because of these players' gravity and their unselfish play. And the message they sent to LeBron, of course, is we're coming, but it's because game, recognize game. They're playing unselfish basketball.